Alright, we're looking at number 1. Number 1, we want to find the value of x. We have to use our different trig ratios. We have sine, which is defined as the sine of x. We just call that our angle, is equal to opposite over the hypotenuse. So we can use this if that stands true. So first, we put our pen on 23 degrees and we draw to it. We have an opposite side, and then we have a hypotenuse. So we can use our sine value. So what we're going to do is make this the sine of 23 degrees is equal to, we first have to do our opposite, which is x over, right here, our 17. We want to find what the value is going to be. So the way we're going to do this is we need to isolate x. So first we see that we're dividing by 17. So we're going to multiply both sides by 17 to get 17 to the other side and isolate x. As we can see, this cancels. So we're at 17 times the sine of 23 degrees is equal to x. Then the rest of your calculator does all the work for you. But right here, make sure your calculator, as you can see, it's a little hard to see. Let me see if I can move it up. Make sure your calculator is in degrees or your answer won't be correct. As you can see, the DEG, it is in degrees. Alright, so the way you're going to do this is first we're going to put in our trig ratio, which is 23 sine, and then you're going to multiply by 17. The instructions said to round to the nearest tenth, so x, our length will be 6.6. So x is equal to 6.6. Alright, and that's for number 1. Number 2, this assignment is on sine, so we want to make sure we do this correctly. So we have the sine of x degrees is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. So first we got to see if we do have sine, just because I want to be sure we have this process down. I put my pen on 67 degrees, and that is the opposite, which is good. And we have our hypotenuse. So the way this is going to work is the sine of 67 degrees is equal to 15 over x. So from here, the goal is to isolate x, but we can't really do much here. So I can see that I'm dividing by x, so I need to get x out of the denominator. So I'm going to multiply by x to both sides to get it out of the denominator because I can't solve for that. This will cancel. Now we're left with x times sine of 67 degrees is equal to 15. As you can see here, my x is still not isolated. I want that hypotenuse length. So what we're going to do here is we're going to divide by the sine of 67 degrees, divide by the sine of 67 degrees, and you're left with x is equal to 15 over the sine of 67 degrees. And again, just like the problem above, all you have to do is use your calculator. So you would do 15 divided by 67 sine, and you click equals, and we get our length, the nearest tenth will be 16.3. So x is equal to 16.3. Alright, and that is for numbers 1 and 2.